Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our chief is our designated city attorney, city manager, and city clerk today. So, Chief, please take roll call.
Mayor Kuzerski.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bisbal.
Here.
Councilmember Gazelle.
Here.
Councilmember Hall.
Here.
Present.
Here.
Councilmember Hughes.
Here.
Okay, on page 3 to 7 are the minutes from the June 19th regular meeting. Please take a look at them, and if they're in order, I need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
So, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Also on pages 8 to 15 are different committee and commission minutes. Again, I need a motion to accept in the public domain.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public comment? We have any public comment? If not, report by chairpersons, finance? Bruce, you want to handle that, or is the,
Do the bills first?
we do the bills first?
In your packet, there are the wire transfers for this month, and it's not expected to me that there's nothing unusual. I've ordered a lot of things that are TBD, put out, the husband's surgery. The tax bills were mailed out, I'll receive those, due in September without penalty. There's a penalty. The next is your check register for the current month. Total expenditures of $500,000 included in there. Items of note, there's money paid for the Shorecrest flooding victims, residents, which was here for those. $164,000 to Nagel paving for the tennis courts. Those are really the notable things. Any questions, I'll try to answer them for you. If not, I need a motion to approve the check.
A motion to pay the bills.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, committee report, Bruce?
The Finance Committee met earlier this month, I think last week or the week before. We had two items on the agenda specifically. Number one was the Rocket Fiber Consortium project, and we spent a lot of time looking at the details and what benefit it would bring to Grosse Pointe Shores specifically. And it was unanimous conclusion of the Finance Committee that for the roughly $200,000 it would cost us, that we should not proceed further with that. And we're recommending to council as a whole that the Rocket Fiber transaction as presently configured, that we just pass on that at this point. There is fiber optic available in the community through WOW. I think AT&T offers it too, I'm not sure. So, it's too much money for what our residents are gonna see in terms of increases. We don't have any commercial businesses. We're also quite concerned because in the fall, you've got a big tax increase. We're gonna go down for the school district, $110 million transaction there. We have other budgetary pressures coming up with retiree health care and infrastructure on the sewer, so at this point, we felt it was prudent just not to keep spending money and saving money. I think we need a motion then to accept the recommendation of the Finance Committee to table the Rocket Fiber transaction indefinitely.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of accepting the recommendation of the Finance Committee, say yes.
Yes.
Anybody against?
The second item that we talked about was, under the labor contract with the command and the other unions, was this deferred retirement option plan, the DROP plan. We are continuing to try to get clarity in terms of the actuarial cost of changes to our retirement plan for pension contribution and accrued liability. I know Ted is very concerned about that. We're also quite concerned about the impact it would have on our retiree healthcare liability as we report that to the state of Michigan. And with with the new state law about funding requirements, it could put us in an unfunded position with the state. So we have not gotten answers yet from our actuary. They don't know what the word speed is, they know what slow is and slower. And now they're gonna be, they're also working at the year-end actuary report, so we'll hopefully have some answers by the next council meeting. So that's our work in progress at this point.
Thanks, Bruce. Any questions? Bruce was referring to Public Act 201 of 2017, which essentially is the city's report card from the Michigan Department of Treasury. And that deals with whether or not your funding percentages are in line with other cities. And they don't want you to exceed 12% on a contribution basis to a post-retirement health care plan. If you do, then you have to seek a reporting waiver. I know Grosse Pointe Woods had to seek a reporting waiver, and so did the farms. I think the city just missed it, and we just missed it ourselves. But these are very strong standards that you have to meet. And if not, there's a newly constituted board in Lansing that you have to go and have a face-to-face meeting, 30, 60-minute meeting with this person and explain what your corrective plan is. And then on top of it, the law requires that every 8 years you have to have a new actuary, or you have to bring in someone for a peer review of your work so that it can be tested by outside professionals. All added cost, I should add, and meanwhile, there's no relief. So, okay, thanks, Bruce, for a good report. Public Safety Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. We are expecting delivery of the new self-contained breathing apparatus. The harnesses are due approximately August 15th. All officers this week are being fit tested for their new face pieces, and this is going to be a very significant upgrade to our operation. It has enhanced capabilities, it's safer for the officer. These units actually have a heads-up display in the front of the mask, tell them where they have. The old tanks were 3,000 PSI, these are 4,500, which gives the officer, with the firefighters, more time inside, so, it's gonna be a really significant upgrade. Effective with September of this year, Grosse Pointe Shores, Grosse Pointe Woods, and Grosse Pointe Farms will all have identical manufactured harnesses, all the same equipment, all have buddy breathing capabilities, so, we're excited about that.
Are they night vision too?
No, because night vision wouldn't do any good in the smoky atmosphere, it's clear.
Infrared and night
The
vision.
three public safety departments, the Woods, Farms, and the Shores, will be applying for a grant for a resource. Can't fill a 4,500 PSI bottle with a 3,000-pound tank, so hopefully we're gonna get a grant for that on a consortium. We're anticipating delivery of one Ford Explorer in August. Current patrol car will have the markings removed and will pass this to an infection bureau, which represents much lighter service. Normally, we can get about 30,000 additional miles out of the car once it goes from patrol to the infected bureau. Vehicle currently assigned to the infected bureau will be sold on a sealed bid basis, probably in September. And finally, this is interesting, finally, to enhance our medic service, we're looking into what they call paramedic programming, which is it's an innovative way where our paramedics can do follow-up care with some of our seniors who have been recently released from a healthcare facility. And what they do is the medics go out while they're on duty, and they will check on the senior, they'll take vitals, they'll put them on a heart monitor if they have to be a cardiac patient, and they can report the findings, glucose levels, etc. They can report this right to the primary care physician. So we're very proud of our medic service here. This is another enhancement that we're looking into. They will be under the Detroit East Medical Control Authority, as they do now, and so we're really excited about this because we have a lot of very high senior community, and this is just another way to serve on a follow-up care basis. Sorry?
Yeah. Chief, will it be,
No, but there are grants available, either through the hospital or through the state.
Yeah, that's why we're thinking through the medical facility.
will it be by appointment, or how will the medic identify the resident.
Well, ideally, the hospital, this whole program was started in rural areas where these patients were not in proximity to a healthcare facility.
Mhm.
And, what they will do is when they're discharged, the hospital will notify them that they're a Grosse Pointe Shores resident, and we will in turn set up an appointment to go, once a week, whatever is required. We're still looking into some of the details with the Medical Control Authority, so, but we're kinda excited about it, cause it's not been done in this area, and it's a way to further serve our residents. Many times we ended up with taking the patient back to the hospital because there's complications, so if we can identify them, we may be able to include it, so.
Good.
And the final thing I had is, we have received another gift from a resident on, Crestwood, $1,000 gift. This woman's been very generous over the years. Small increments, but the memo line said she's, thanks to public safety, so we're very grateful to her as well. So, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions? Okay, thanks again, Chief. Brett, Public Works?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and residents. I'll try to be brief in my report. I was going to start my report by saying I'm happy to say that all 4 of our tennis courts are playable as of this afternoon, and I'd like to thank the residents, council, and park staff for their patience. However, I can't say that. We're missing a couple pieces of hardware. We have 2 nets up, and we hope to have the other 2 nets up very quick, hopefully tomorrow. But again, I'd like to thank the residents, council, and the staff, park staff for their patience on this project. We're also currently waiting for the park gates to be fabricated and powder coated, and once those are in, those will go up right away. The parking lot across the street should be getting its final layer of asphalt soon. I spoke with the engineers just a few minutes before our meeting, and they're hoping to get that done next week. I don't see a reason to close the park while the work's being done. I think what we'll do is use this side of Lake Shore for parking, and if absolutely necessary, the chief has given us permission to shut down the right-hand lane on northbound Lake Shore. The bids have been opened for repaving on Bell Mead. They're currently being reviewed, and we plan on having a recommendation to council for our next meeting. So we're looking forward to moving forward on that. I also have an update on the park entrance. We did get a quote from Nagel Paving, and we're currently reviewing their costs and clarifying some of the information that they have and their price. We also had the plan sent to Hutch Paving, who was the low bidder on Bell Mead. We thought it might be prudent to have them take a look at that as well. And we're also looking forward to get that project started ASAP. The dry weather has been keeping the DPW busy working on our irrigation systems. Fred Lees, who's our main irrigation guy, and his men have really had their hands full this year. Today they were working on a main break they have on our sprinkling system on Lakeshore Road in front of the yacht club. So repair is going to take them a few days. This is a pipe that's 4 inches in diameter, and it has 100 pounds of pressure in it, more pressure than our typical water mains. But he's been real busy taking care of that. There's also been a number of problems that were creeping up on us this year where tree roots are actually crushing the pipes. So we're having some of the system works good and another area of the system doesn't. And it's becoming quite difficult to find the location where that's happening. And then because of the roots, it makes it difficult to dig it up. So he's got his hands full this year. We're currently out for bid for our tree service contract. Bids are to be opened July 31st, 10 a.m. here in the council room. Also have some information on DTE. They do have a lot of restoration work that is taking place in the Deep Land subdivision. They're not working as fast as they did last year. However, we're on them, and I talk to them regularly, and we hope to get that completed soon. They've also been making contact with the residents on Colonial Road. They're getting the meter locations ready and trying to get the locations at least on the house and the brackets hung before InfraSource will come in, put the main line down the middle of the street, and then the service lines. So we're looking for that to get started soon as well. The chief and I recently had the opportunity to meet with TIA, which is the Transportation Improvement Association. They're going to be conducting a sightline review in Grosse Pointe Shores, and this means that they're going to be evaluating our intersections, for sightline. We have a lot of areas where we have plant life and growth that is right up to the curb or right up to a T in the road, making it difficult for people to see. So they're going to do this review and give us recommendations, and I'm sure that'll generate some work for your Public Works Department. You may have also noticed a red aerial lift truck near our soccer field and in front of City Hall. Bruce Haynes, one of our employees, has been doing some trimming on our overgrown trees in the area. And Landscape Services has been gracious enough and donated the use of their truck for a week to remove and install the banners at the Ford House for the DSO and other activities that they had, and for us to do some trimming. And I just want to say it's nice to have a good relationship with local companies such as Landscape Services. And that's all I have for this evening. If you have any questions, I could try to answer them at this time.
Thanks, Brett. Are there any questions? So Brett, they'll begin staking out the new entranceway. That'll occur in the next week or
I hope to have
two.
that happening real fast, yes.
And I haven't seen any trucks on Lake Shore with the, investigating the water lines or the sewer lines there.
The sewer lines, we had, through our SAW grant, we had those sewer lines inspected, or televised over the winter. They finished probably January, February, and they're in the process right now of reviewing those lines. I think it was mentioned at the last meeting, I was not able to be here, but we found a very large leak that was taken care of on Lake Shore Road. It was hopefully something that will reduce our numbers significantly. The chief had, I think you put that up on the TV, or somebody had done that, so, yeah. Okay, okay, well, that would have been the first time. Hopefully it worked out good, yes, you got to actually
was
see
good.
what we're doing, that's kind of neat when we can see what we're doing underground, so,
Good.
yes.
When do you expect LV to start? Is that a fall schedule, late August?
Well, as soon as I get an approval and my numbers are within budget, I'll give an okay to get on the list, and then I'll get on their list to get started, and then you'll probably approve in August, and I would like to see them start right after that.
So it's gonna be
Right around Labor Day, yeah. I would expect that to be a smooth project. We've done that a couple times since I've been here. It's a simple mill and fill. We're not changing any grades. Very minimal curb. I'm hoping that to go very fast. The contractor, I don't know how he can do it, but he said he can do the whole job in 6 days. That's what I said, oof. So, we better plan on really good weather and no equipment breaking down and product coming on time, but that's what he says. So.
Have you ordered a new van for the water department?
Not as of yet. The vans have changed. Right now we're using the F-150s, and they changed to the transit van, and we have to make sure they're going to fit in our garage.
That's what I was asking, if you looked at the new transit.
Yes, we have.
How that's gonna configure for you.
We hope that's going to work out fine. There's actually more room on the inside, but the overall outside dimensions, I don't know if you noticed the garage door where the water department parks. We have to squeeze in the mirrors for it to even fit in the garage. So if those vans have changed substantially, we may be having some other issues to face. It'll probably take place in a month or so. Anything else?
Good, Brett.
Thank
Good report. Thanks. Park Committee, Doug?
I was gonna talk about the tennis courts, the parking lot, and the gatehouse, and so I'm not gonna say anything else. Next.
All right, thanks. Harbor Committee?
Nothing to report other than the fact that the webpage that we had talked about, the virtual webpage where you go and interact with the harbor and select slips, is up with the new website. It looks great. Compliments to Tom on that. All of the boats have been retied that were out of compliance with the parameters we had set for boat owners to make sure that the pulpit of the boat or the stern didn't exceed the stern piling or the dock at the bow. So that's all been handled. So overall, things are good, and congratulations to Chairman Seago, placed in second in his class in the Mackinac race.
Oh, wow, wow. Good. Thanks, Matt. Bob, infrastructure?
don't really have anything. The money from, promise from NOAA hasn't come around, and so we don't know what's going on with that. Corps of Engineers hasn't been provided any feedback on it, so.
Is the conditioning is getting worse, or,
It's not getting any better, Mr. Mayor. So, I took a walk down there yesterday, I think, yeah, yesterday. The high winds we get, it just keeps washing everything away. And Mark, both the shores and the farms have sent a letter to the Wayne County, because that's their responsibility to do something. Pretty soon it's gonna, I think it's gonna get worse and worse. If we get a nasty nor'easter, that's gonna, the hell out of it. Excuse my language, but pretty bad. I mean, the holes are there's 2 holes down there 6 foot deep.
what appears by Deeplands, there's no wall. I mean, there's a section that looks like there's no wall. It's just been completely eroded.
Remember, we talked about the 1932 photo that Tom found. That, all that concrete was flat. And now it's all down like this. That tells you it's sinking. But you don't know how deep it is, you don't know how deep they put that. And the picture had, the excavator was actually out in the lake, because the water was out like 100 foot out.
Wow.
When they did that
Wow.
work. So it's, now the water is, we took a measurement today, was 6 foot 6 inches in the park.
Wow.
It's only that far from the top of the seawall in the park. And there's some parts down there, it's only like 3 or 4 inches below the top. And the farms is just as bad.
Wow. Well,
So,
thank God we
I
had,
was
yeah.
I didn't know Mark was gone, I was gonna bend his ear today, but I'll do it when he comes back. We need to do something.
Okay.
Gotta get Clean involved or something to, get the county at least to do some backfilling and fill some of them holes in and do something.
Okay.
Put some barricades or do something. I'm scared somebody's gonna get hurt.
Thanks, Bob. Improvement Foundation, Brett? I hear you have wonderful news to report.
Quiet week.
Good evening, council. Real quick, Foundation did meet last week, and we have some good news. We did vote unanimously to give you your request of $100,000 to be put towards the tennis court improvement in general. That was the big news. We're also talking about our membership has been up, which is a good thing for us. The projects committee is still working on new things that we talked about. Of course, we come back to council before we do anything. Paddle tennis, perhaps. The ice rink is still in question. So those are a couple things we're talking about. The date's been set for the holiday home tour, which is December 2nd of this year. That's Heidi Neuenschwander and her group handling that. Foundation was happy to hear Councilman Seeley's mention about the master plan. So we're good to hear about all that good news coming to us too. Talked a little bit about the splash pad, all that's been handled. The pickleball courts are still on our radar. The Playscape edition, I guess, we have a couple, Lynn Kurtz and her committee are working on that. And other than that, our future date is, our next meeting is September 10th of this year, and I'll have more for you after that point. Other than that,
Any questions for Brett?
Thank you.
Just thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
that's the whole foundation, not just me.
Yeah.
So we really-
No, and I should add that there were 20 trustees there that voted, for that motion. So thank you, Brett, for all that you do. Legal report, Chief? All right. Well, the first item that our attorney reviewed was general municipal matters. We had the water damage claim regarding Shorecrest. There was some FOIA requested documents associated with the claim and communicated with the FOIA requester. Reviewed and repaired responses to other FOIA requests upon the city. Pat's, our city attorney, reached final agreement with SMART's general counsel's office regarding the parameters of Pat's bylaws revisions affecting Pat's and SOC compliance with SMART Community Transit Manual compliance. Third item that our city attorney consulted with, and we're going to vote on it today, is 57 Michal Court matter. He conducted a review of the draft closing documents. City attorney consulted with the city regarding resident complaints regarding conditions of the property. Reviewed the draft title commitment and underlying recorded documents. A review of additional easement and conditions subsequent documents forwarded by the title company. Consulted with the city regarding the final sale issues, and prepared material for closing pending our city council's approval today. On 55 Deeplands, South Deeplands, the Wayne County Circuit Court appeal prepared summary comments on Wayne County Circuit Court opinion and order denying Deeplands appeal for city review. Conducted telephone conferences with city manager and mayor regarding appeal issues. Conducted conference call with council for Deeplands Development Company regarding court opinion and order. Attended a meeting with the city manager and city assessor regarding property tax appeal issues affecting 55 South Deeplands. Reviewed and responded to correspondence from council for developer regarding potential alternative site plans following issuance of court's opinion and order. And finally, conducted a conference call with council for neighbor group regarding appeal results and status. Regarding, there was a case brought against one of our neighbors and the city, reviewed numerous pleadings and notices filed by the court and parties, provided comment to the city on draft city employee affidavits requested by City Insurance Defense Council. So, and I think that's it. So, busy month. Managers report. Yeah, I don't, well, I know that our city manager's been busy with the 55 South Deeplands. He's been busy with the Shorecrest, the claims that were brought against the city. Still investigating, I think, the reason for the generator failure. You know, again, reviewing bids, the opening of the bids regarding Belle Mead. The meeting, I think, with John Vitale regarding the updating master plan for the park and potential future improvements, including the new driveway entranceway and the gatehouse. And I think that he awarded the bid for the gatehouse during the last month. I think that was done. The city council had voted at the last meeting on a price not to exceed $60,000, which a donor in the city has graciously provided the funds. So there will be no cost to the city for the gatehouse. I think that was it. And we have no old business, and the new business is the one item that's marked in your package regarding our existing ordinance, City Code Section 2-307. And this is for the sale of 57 Michel Court for the development of a single-family home. The ordinance requires that real property owned by the village and personal property owned by the village with a value of $10,000 or more may be sold only following a bidding process similar to that prescribed by Section 2-304 of this division and after obtaining council approval of the city. And it requires a supermajority. It requires 5 votes of the council in order to approve. So it's the recommendation of the city staff to approve and proceed with the closing of the sale of 57 Michel Court for the development of a single-family home. And again, we need more than a majority vote. We need 5 members to approve. Along with the granting authority for the mayor and city clerk to sign, the city attorney will proceed with the closing of the sale. So I invite a motion to approve the procedures necessary to sell 57 Michel Court.
Before we do that, though, I have a couple questions and concerns concerning this lot sale. We've been working with this, and I haven't actually, I don't know if anybody else has seen the actual paperwork, but is there language that says he has to keep that property in a clean fashion? Because it hasn't been that way for the last year, and we have residents that are in uproar, and it's horrible over there. And number 2, what stipulation is stated in the sale of this? How long does he have to build? When does he need to start building, or is he gonna leave that vacant? I wanna know those things before I approve this.
Well, I think our building permits only last for 1 year, and they can be extended. I know regarding the house on Lake Shore and
Right.
Oxford,
We gave him a year.
we gave them 18 months, I think. Wasn't it or was it 22 months?
It was longer.
Was it? Because they were saying they need additional time. They're putting a slate roof. and they need additional time for the placement of the slate roof. But typically, a permit's for 12 months.
But that didn't, going back, that didn't, after 12 months, you had to buy a new permit.
Right.
Okay. And then you and then if there's any activity within 6 months, you can't deny them a new building permit.
Right.
So as far as the one at Oxford, one is they keep working on it. We gave them a timeline for their, variance.
Oh, that's right, that's right. And we required it to be fenced, to be completely
that's-
Right,
fenced
now,
in.
are we requiring this to be fenced?
All
Steve
new property construction requires.
needs that, okay, because this Michaud is a very narrow street, so when we start putting trucks on there, we're going to hinder quite a bit of movement for those residents that live on that street.
Let's back, the purchase of the land is, if you will, a naked transaction, it's just a sale of the land.
Okay,
All the concerns and stipulations you're asking for would be in the planning process, that would go to when the building permit is submitted, when applied for rather, and when it goes through the planning commission if necessary. As far as maintaining the lot, shame on us, we own the dirt, we didn't take care of the dirt. He owns the dirt now, if this goes through, then he's subject to our ordinances for blight and maintenance, and the chief is,
And public nuisance, yeah.
and the chief is really good about going over it.
okay,
And if he doesn't maintain it, we do charge him for it or put it on his tax.
okay,
So, but your complaint about originally, that's our fault, the city's fault. We
right,
didn't take it.
right, yeah.
And he didn't clear, we were probably deficient in not.
Requiring him,
cleaning that up when the
exactly.
construction of those two homes was done.
But that's in the past, so now we just have to move forward, and that's why I wanna make sure that if he's just buying this lot, he's going to maintain it and get it back to the way it was when he first took over and ruined it, when he started to use it as his staging area. That was the problem, so now I'm concerned that, and the neighbors are concerned that he's not going to keep that lot up. I mean,
We-
we've
we-
hydro-seeded it.
Yeah, the city just hired us in
Right.
here for $2,500.
Okay,
That was an expenditure that the city took upon itself, so it should be in,
but we'll take that off the sale of the property.
That's ours. No, we're not taking that off the sale. We're not charging him for it, that's what you're asking.
No, but when we pay the proceeds from that, won't that be taken off? Any expenditures are taken off?
Yes, if
Okay.
that day, if and when it comes.
Okay, okay,
But, yeah, we hydro-seeded it to get it back to, so it doesn't look like some, construction lot,
right.
some vacant, neglected parcel.
Okay.
So he's gonna have to maintain it then.
Okay.
Now, whether they provide irrigation to it, I don't know.
Now, he doesn't have, so he will own that lot, and he can keep it on, he cannot build on it for years if he chooses, is that correct? That's his choice. We have nothing in the contract that said he needs to build.
You can't compel him to do that. But he's gonna pay his taxes.
Okay, and he has to keep it up
Yep.
as
Oh, yeah.
a lot, right, that's what,
Yeah,
okay,
he has to be a good neighbor.
okay.
The chief's officers take, I think they take great pleasure in knocking on doors and saying,
No, I don't think they take,
Property was used as staging area when
Yes.
the two homes on Burger.
exactly.
We had a call on a vehicle parked back there last
Couple
week.
weeks
We
ago,
went
right.
over and found the owner, ticketed him and had it removed.
Okay, good,
Okay, good work, chief.
okay. All right,
Okay,
good.
with that proviso, I need a motion to go forward with the sale of 57 Michaud Court.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, it's unanimous, chief. Public comment? Any public comment? If not, council comments, Bob?
Just, one thing. There was a request a couple months ago to put some lights on at the Oxford intersection. There's a little shed there. That's in progress. There's some minor, now that the vines have been taken off, there's some minor masonry work that's gotta be done, and that will be taken care of. The lights have been purchased and are on property, so it's just a matter of a bit of time. It's an inexpensive thing, and it's kind of decorative, so. And I really believe that site dates back to the early 1900s.
Mhm.
I still gotta get a little more research to prove that, so. We'll get a little plaque board that should go.
It's a nice touch, yeah.
It'll dress that up just a little bit,
Okay.
that's all.
Matt, any comments?
Just a special thanks to Grosse Pointe Shores Improvement Foundation and Brett Smith for the generous support in helping us out with our park project.
And thanks to your efforts, Matt, I mean, there were some people that had some opposition and regarding different facets, the master park plan, and you dealt with every one of those, so that was very good. Tina, do you have any comments?
Just that, the park looks amazing, and the goose chaser dog is doing his work. I never walked back and forth so much and not had to sidestep. So we really appreciate Trace for doing that. Get out to the park. My girlfriend played on the courts yesterday. She said they were great. She loved it. So the tennis courts are getting ready to roll. The park has been busy. It's been very busy, and it's just been great to see all the new families, all the young and old people over there. So just enjoy that, and that's it.
Thanks, Tina. Bruce? Bob?
Nothing further.
Doug?
I don't have anything.
A couple comments. Tomorrow is our last home swim meet against Grosse Pointe Farms at 5:30, so come cheer on your team. We have, I think, 105 swimmers. The following Wednesday is the finals for all the Grosse Pointes and St. Clair Shores for all the events. It's also a great way to celebrate with your swim team and just with your community. Our fishing derby is this Saturday, rain or shine. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Vito, I hope you can be there. I mean, last year we had over 50 children, and there was over 85, 88 fish, I think, caught. It was just a wonderful experience right off the main dock. We have, let's see, we have a town hall scheduled coming up on September 15th. What was I going to say? The fishing derby.
18.
There's a primary on August 7th. I got August 7th here. So last day to obtain a absentee ballot, I think, is August 4th. But, you know, the summer has gone by very quickly, but take advantage of it. The Improvement Foundation has an idea. They want to invite some local tennis pros, professionals, and they want to have an open house, a dedication right after our classic car show in September. I think they're planning the third Sunday of September, and they want to invite professionals. Heidi's going to oversee that, I think, Brett. She talked about having 4 or 5 professionals and show off our courts. So our next meeting is August 21st. I invite a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
This is second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming.
Yay.